What's going on, guys? Super9 and welcome to how to make a custom weapon in Minecraft. This is going to be a small tutorial series where we're going to be diving in on how to make a custom weapon. And in today's video, we're going to code this thing out and talk about some hit detection, as you can see here. All right, so here we are inside of a VSCode. Now, I've already gone ahead and gone into the Datapack folder where the world file is and have created this folder called weapons_chach. You should know how to do this from the previous tutorial, so we're not going to be going into that. It's pretty straightforward. So with that said, we need to start this bad boy off by doing a file like so, and we are going to call this one pack.mcmeta. This is highly important, and inside of pack.mcmeta, we are going to set it up like this. We're going to have curly bracket, and then we are going to do quotations. We're going to type pack, and then we're going to do the colon, space this over. We need curly brackets again, hit enter, and then quotations, pack underscore format like so, and colon, and then 15 because we are in Minecraft 120. So then make sure you put the comma, hit enter, quotations again, description, and colon, and then this can just be whatever. We're just going to say weapons cache. All right, there we go. So then that is that. Now, the other important thing that we need to do is make sure that this is highlighted again, and we are going to create another folder in here, and this one is going to be called data. Now, inside of data, we are going to make sure that this is selected again, create another folder. It needs to be subfolder, as you see how it dropped right here. It needs to go to Minecraft, and then we need another folder. This needs to be a subfolder inside of Minecraft. We're going to call this one tags. And then again, make sure that this is underlined. We need another folder, and then this one is called functions. So I showed how to set this stuff up in the original Datapack video. If you want to check that out, link is going to be popping up somewhere on the screen. Also, I do want to shout out that all of the Datapacks that I do make for tutorial series are available in my Discord. Links located in the description below. Definitely head over there and follow us. And you can find this in the chat that is called Datapack Downloads. All right, so with that said, now inside of the functions folder, we want to make sure that this is underlined. We're going to create two files. We're going to create load.json and tick.json. So let me do that real quick. All right, so after those two files are created, what we need to do is hit the curly brackets like so, and then we are going to do quotations and type in values. Hit the arrow and then put in a colon. Space that over, hit brackets, and then quotations. And then we are going to do weapons underscore chach colon load, because we're in the load JSON file, and we should be good to go with that. So good to go. Now what we're going to do is copy this and paste it over here into the tick.json. The only thing we have to change is down here on load. It needs to be tick like so. We are going to save all of this stuff. And now we can start moving into building the cool stuff. All right, so moving forward, what we want to make sure is data is underlined. We're going to create a new folder, and then this one is going to be weapons chach in my case. You can name this whatever you want. So let me make sure that that is underlined folder, and then we're just going to paste this in like so. I missed the W. We need to make sure spelling is correct. It needs to match this. This is how the Minecraft is basically going to be like, okay, I need to load this folder, all the stuff that's inside of it. And this is how we're going to do all of our cool stuff. So inside of this folder, we're going to have a lot going on. This is where the magic is going to happen. With that said, we are going to start with some of the simpler things first and then move into the hit detection. So to begin with that, we are going to make sure that this is highlighted, and we are going to create a new folder. We are going to call this one functions. And inside of functions, we're going to do quite a bit. We're going to start with a new file. We're going to make sure functions is underlined. And let's start with load.mc function. And then underline functions again. We're going to hit file, create new file, and then tick.mc function like so. We've got these two. These are vitally important. So inside of the load.mc function, what we can put is basically a message so that every time that we reload, we know the pack has loaded correctly. So we're just going to copy this line of code and paste it in. We went over this in the beginning tutorials where I showed you how to make a data pack, I believe. So this is all you need for this, nothing special. Basically, every time that this pack gets loaded, it's going to output this message in chat with this color, and this is hexadecimal color, so you can change this to whatever you want. But I think this one is just set to blue, if I remember right. Don't hold me there. So with all that done, what we need to do now is set up a give function for us so that we can run this give command inside of the game to get the sword that we are basically manipulating. So with that said, we need to make sure that functions is underlined again. We're going to create a new file, and this one is just going to be called give.mc function. This should look familiar from previous tutorials, like so. There we go. And now all we need to do is basically input the sword here. Now you can do this with mcstacker.net. I've shown how to create the, I believe it was the bacon bow on there. So you can follow along with that tutorial and stuff. I'll have a link located in the description below as well if you want to generate yourself a sword. But I have one already made, so I'm going to copy and paste this command line in. And what I'm going to do for good practice, because this may hold multiple swords in the future, I'm not sure exactly what we're going to be doing over the long term here. I'm going to just call this sword 1. So we're just going to make a note so that we know that this is sword 1. So we have copied this in, and this is just a simple give command. I'm giving myself a netherite sword. I have changed the display name to bacon sword, and it's just the lore. It tastes like bacon. Got some custom model data. This is also going to be important when we're running checks for the mob hit and things. So you can also set this in MC Stacker. And then here's all the enchantments at the end here. And that's pretty much it. And then this is just giving me one of this item. So that's all this line is really telling you here. Nothing too crazy or over the top. But like I said, you can completely generate this line in MC Stacker. All right, so now that we have that done, what we're going to do is create a folder that's going to hold all the different types of swords. This is good practice just in case you are trying to make a data pack that you're going to have multiple different types of weapons. You can create different folders for them, etc., etc. So that's what we're going to be doing here. Going to make sure that functions is underlined. We're going to create a folder here, and we're just going to simply name them this one, in our case, swords. So inside of swords, just to keep the naming convention the same, what I'm going to do is create a file that's going to be in another MC function. I'm going to name this sword1.mc function. And inside of here, this is where the magic's going to happen for the sword. So like the bacon bow, we kind of manipulated some of that stuff. We can do similar things here. So inside of here, we're going to do good practices and do hashtag and handles abilities for sword 1. Awesome. So then this way, if we go away and revisit this data pack in the future, we know exactly what is going on here, and we can just remind ourselves. So what I'm going to do is, this is where we're going to paste in all of the sword's special abilities, where we've got particle effects, etc., etc. I have some of these off to the side here, so I'm just going to copy and paste these in. Now, you can manipulate these in any way, shape, or form that you want. You can change the particle effects, like if we wanted to add another particle effect, we just do particle and then tab that over, and then when you space over with tab, it will give you all of these different huge lists of things that you can do, so you can sit there and play around with all of this stuff. So what this is basically doing here inside of our file is we've got a particle flame here. This is the X, Y, and Z axis. So it's basically spawning on the mob or the hit area, I guess you could say, in this manner. So we've got that. We've got a particle campfire smoke because it's just a big mass of smoke. And then we've got a play sound. So you can actually do different sounds. So you can play with Minecraft sounds in here as well. So you can do play sound like so, tab that over, and when you do that, look at all of this stuff that you can totally access. So you can sit here and play with all of the different things and get anything manipulated the way that you would like. So then we have the particle sonic boom, so that will play there as well. Same thing with the location, X, Y, and Z axis. And then we have the effect where we are going to give the mob a levitation as well. So that's going to be pretty cool. All right, so the next thing, since we're inside of here, this is going to be for our future stuffs, is we're going to do hashtag and then tagging entity hit by sword. There we go. So then we are going to type out this line here. It's going to be tag. Going to hit tab with that, move over. We're going to do @s, hit enter. and then space that over. We're going to get add there. So we're going to hit enter on that, and then we are going to name this. This can be whatever you would like. I'm just going to name it hit underscore by sword, just to keep it simple for future. When we decide to come back and mess with this thing, it doesn't have to be exactly this. This is just the tag. You're going to be referencing this tag later, so you have to remember essentially what you have named this here. All right, so I've jumped back into Minecraft to test this thing out, make sure everything's working up into the point that we are at currently. With that said, we're going to do / function, and then we're going to do space, and you should see something like this. We've got weapons, shots, colon, give. We're going to tab that thing, boom. And we've got the bacon sword. Let's check to make sure the enchantments are on here. Everything seems to be good to go. Now, what you can do is theoretically leave it as this. It will work. So as you can see, when we do this and then hit, we have all those special effects that we coded in working. Now, the reason why you want to do hit detection, though, is some mobs and entities will not be affected by the sword. I don't know why that is. It's Minecraft being weird. But that's where this hit detection is going to come into play. Also, if you decide to expand on this data pack, you can access the information for the mob hits. If you need to try to get specific mob hits to do specific things, you can go so far with it. It is insane. So with that said, let's jump back into VS Code. All right, we're back in VS Code. So let's start setting up this hit detection stuff. So where we're going to start is we need to make sure that weapons underscore chotch, our main namespace folder, is underlined here. We're going to make a new folder, and we are going to call this one advancements. Beautiful. So inside of advancements, we are going to create a new file, and then this one is going to be called deal underscore damage.json, like so. Now you're going to have these errors pop up and stuff. Don't worry, it is fine. We will fix this here in a second. So this I'm going to type out real quick for you guys. What we're going to do is do some curly brackets like so, and hit enter. Now we are going to do the quotations. We are going to autofill with criteria there. It should populate all of this stuff. We're going to hit enter again. We're going to do quotations, and we're going to hit requirement. I guess it's not going to populate, so we're going to have to type this one out. Requirement like so. And then we're going to space over there real quick and hit the colon, and it's going to populate the brackets for us. Beautiful. Now we are going to type out trigger. We're going to tab that over, and we are going to put inside here Minecraft, and then colon player hurt entity right there. So we're going to space that down there and then hit tab, and it will autocomplete for us. So then now we need to jump down to the second brace, curly brace right here, and we are going to do a comma, and then we are going to hit enter. And then what we're going to do here is quotations, and we are going to drop down to rewards. We're going to tab that in, and then we're going to hit enter, and then we are going to do the quotations, and then we're going to drop down to function, tab that in. We are going to drop down to weapons chotch, and then colon, and then we are going to name this function deal underscore damage. So now we can move forward here by saving all of this stuff, and then we're going to move into creating the deal damage MC function. So with that said, let's jump down into functions here. We are going to create a new file, and then we're simply just going to call this one deal underscore damage.mc function. Woo! Hit enter on that. Now, so inside of this MC function, a lot is going to be going on. We're going to break it down as we go, but what's going to be awesome about this is it's going to be able to allow you to categorize all the different swords and weapons that you might be creating, to run checks and to run the specific functions associated with that weapon. So it's going to be pretty cool. With that said, we're going to get started with this. We're going to type in tag, and then we're going to do @s. So we're going to drop down there, hit tab, and then add, and then attacker. So we need to add this tag because us ourselves, I don't know how to explain that. We're the attacker, so we need to be tagged as the attacker. And then what we also need to do is remove the advancement. So we're going to revoke that. And then it's going to be @s, and then only. And then we are going to type in here weapons underscore chotch, and then deal damage. All right, so with that finished, now what we can do is start setting up for all of the different custom swords. So this is where all of that stuff that I was talking about is going to happen. So in this case, we are going to start with custom sword 1 because we only have one sword at this point. This is where you would list all of your different weapons that you have, you know, like here, 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 etc., right? So what this is going to do is this is like an if predicate statement. And this is the first time we're kind of messing around with predicates in, I think, any Datapack video I've done so far. So it's going to get pretty cool with what we can do here. So with that said, let's get this thing typed out. We're going to do execute and if, and then predicate. Oh, not biome. What am I doing there? Predicate. It didn't want it. Why isn't it? What? Okay. I don't know why I did that. So if predicate, and then what we're going to do is weapons underscore shot, and then we are going to point towards our item that we are holding. So holding item, which we have not created this yet, but I'm going to call it holding underscore item, like so. And then we are going to do / custom underscore sword 1. And you have to remember these things because we are going to be creating the files and folders associated. So there's that, and we will do as, and then at E. This is where things are going to get really kind of complex. So we are going to be creating a section of tags for entity types that are going to be the mob list. So that's where we're able to basically dissect which mob you're hitting, etc., etc. That's where you can go super crazy if you want to. We're not going to do that in this tutorial series, but it opens up the door with so many cool possibilities. So we're going to do type equals, and then we're going to do hashtag, and then it's going to be called weapons underscore shot. We're going to do a colon and then mobs. That's that. So then what we need to do is the comma and then distance. So it's going to be ... and then 10, and then we're going to do another comma, and then this one's going to be NBT. This is going to be the hurt time. So we can do this, and we'll do hurt time, should be right there. Yep. And then we're going to just do it for 10. That's that. So we can go outside of these curly brackets, do the comma, and then we're going to tag this entity that we are attacking as not the attacker. So we need tag equals, and then the exclamation point, and attacker. What that means is basically not the attacker, so not us. And then once we have that completed, we just go outside of the brackets there. We're going to do at. We're going to do @s, and we are going to run the function. That is not how you spell function. Function weapons shot, and then it's going to be a colon, and then we're going to point towards our swords folder because that's where our sword is held, our MC function. So it's going to be swords. And then / we need to go to the exact sword. And as you can see, it populated right there as sword 1. So we are going to tab that in and good to go. Before moving on, I did forget to just type out here. We need to remove our attacker tag that we have up here at the top. So let's do tag, and then it's going to be @s, and then remove, and then attacker. And then we are good to go here. This is all done. All right, so now that the deal damage MC function is completed, let's jump into creating our predicates. So with that said, we just need to go into weapons underscore shot. In my case, we're going to add a new folder, and we are going to call this one predicates. And then inside of this one, we're going to create another folder, and we are going to call it holding. That's how I spell it. There we go. Holding underscore item, like so. And then inside of here, we're going to create our predicates for our first sword. So we're going to add a new file, and we are going to call this custom underscore sword 1.json. Beautiful. All right, so inside of here, we are going to get this guy configured. All right, so inside of here, we just need some curly braces. You're going to hit enter, and then we are going to start typing out with quotations. Condition should auto-populate like so. So we're going to tab that in, and then what we need here is Minecraft, and then colon, and then entity properties like that. Then we are going to have a comma after this, and then we are going to have entity in there. And then we are going to point at this with another comma. And then this is where predicates begin here. We are going to select predicate and then enter yet again. Then inside of here, we are going to do equipment. then enter, and then main hand, like so. And then we are going to hit enter yet again. So this is basically going to run a check what we have in our main hand. And we are going to search for the NBT tag. And if you remember, inside of our give.mc function, we had our sword with a custom item data. So it was custom item underscore item 1. If we go back inside of here and scroll over, you can see we have sword 1 as custom underscore item 1. So basically what this is doing is checking the main hand and making sure that we are holding exactly this sword here. So with that explained, we can start doing our tags for our entity types. So what we need to do is come back here to weapons underscore chach. In my case, we're going to add a new folder. We're going to call this one tags. And then inside of tags, we are going to create another folder that's going to be called entity underscore and then types. And inside of here, we are going to create a file that is going to be called mobs.json. So inside of here, what I'm going to do is copy and paste the list from a previous project that I have worked on. So let's get this in here. And the reason why I'm doing this is because it is a massive list. I'm not going to sit here and type it out for you guys like word from word. But if you are interested in obtaining a list like this, there's pretty much 2 ways you can do it that I know of. You can just do a quick Google search for entity types, Minecraft, and I'm sure you'll find some sort of list that's already been pre-built that somebody has out there. If you're interested in getting your hands on exactly what we're doing here today, I will have this available for download inside of my Discord under Datapack download section chat. You'll be able to go inside of there, and then you'll see the video title along with the link, and you'll be able to download this pack in its entirety as you see here, which will give you this list as well. All right, here I am back in Minecraft, and I have an assortment of mobs in my inventory, and we're going to run through and test them. So we already know the spider should work, so let's hit that one. That one's good to go. Let's do the oxalotl. He likes to have some trouble sometimes, and as we can see, he is working with our hit detection. Beautiful. The blaze as well seems to be working. We're probably not going to kill him, but he's definitely floating with the effects. Let's do some bacon, of course. We killed him right off the rip. Hang on, let's try this again. There we go. He's floating up as well. And then villagers also like to have problems with hit detection. So let's see if that works. And it does. Beautiful. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. If so, please hit the like button for the love of bacon. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button with all those bell notifications and stuff that YouTube makes us do now. And with all that said, be safe, be kind, know that you're appreciated, and I will catch you in the next one.